drives one in the air. Deep right field. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Way back it might be. It could be. Cubs win. Cubs win. Cubs win. Holy cow.
The Dingers podcast is on the air. I'm your host, Mitch. I'm here with Kevin, Ian, Jeff, and Jake. Guys, tomorrow is opening day. We've waited all winter for this, and Cubs going to be getting a night game. Is it? I want to start this. Is it weird that the Cubs aren't playing the Brewers on opening day? I was thinking about this morning. It's like the Cubs have played the Brewers for opening day quite a bit lately, and so like, it's kind of weird that we're not playing. We're playing playing an American League team. I don't know. Have you guys thought about that at all, or is it just me?
No, I think it's the second time in a handful of years that we've started with the Rangers in our first game. I think it was 2018.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Ian Happ that hit the first dinger for the Cubs season.
That was against the Marlins.
Was it? So, it was Javi Baez maybe against the Rangers.
Yeah, I remember. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was 2017.
Could have been.
Or 20. No,
I watched a montage on it on TikTok today. Anybody want to guess when the first home run for opening day in 2020 was? What month?
Oh, 2020 it would have been June.
It was just July. It was actually July 20th.
Oh no.
Ian Happ.
Crazy.
Yeah. COVID year, folks.
Well, yeah, it's crazy. I forget that it started that late.
Yeah, I was thinking June. Yeah, I totally forgot it started.
So that was our first year of doing this podcast, and we did so many random podcasts until the season started.
Yep, not great starting a baseball podcast when baseball gets shut down.
Yeah.
It started out so well in spring training, and then
bad for business.
And it's great that the Cubs this year are playing a night game to start the season. That's a little bit different. I don't think I've experienced a night game for the Cubs. I think the last time was 2016 with they started, I think, with the Angels. Was that what, I believe that was a night game. Or at least they maybe played that series. I don't know. Maybe I'm making up this in my own mind, but I feel like I haven't had a night game opening day Cubs game in a long time. So it's going to be nice. I'm excited. We're going to have like a opening night here at our house. And so kids are getting excited, having brats, Cracker Jacks. We're doing all the stadium foods and getting pumped for opening day.
Did you get some glowing lime green pickled relish for the Chicago dogs?
Oh, there you go.
We didn't. Maybe I'll have to have my wife send my wife on a grocery run tomorrow to be able to pick that up. But
I made a mistake and I totally forgot, like just brain lapse. A couple months ago, I bought tickets to a concert, and the concert is opening night. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the show, but man.
Unless we're going to Ian Mahan, I don't think it's worth it.
Hey, Ian approved this artist.
I approved the concert. Yeah, I gave Jake the stamp of approval. I wouldn't pay to see me. No.
At least not on opening day.
No, not on opening day.
You don't have to pay to see you. That's the beauty.
That's true. That's true.
Well, guys, there's a lot just outside of Cubs baseball going on in baseball and in sports that have kind of overlapped this. We have the Shohei stuff going on. So let's spend a little bit of time talking about this because I want to hear your guys' thoughts on all this just because, we got to keep it short because it's something we could make a full series of episodes on this. And we haven't even gotten all the information out yet. So let's just go around. What are your initial thoughts on this Shohei ordeal and how do you think it's going to play out? Let's start with Ian.
I don't like it. I'll keep it short, but I just don't like it. It gives me a weird feeling. And either Shohei is the smartest person on the planet or he has no idea how to develop relationships and interpersonal skills with people. So I don't know. It's scary.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that stands out to me, and I'll keep it short because as Bleacher Bum 23 says in the comments, he's already over the Ohtani stuff. Obviously, it's been talked about for a while now, but the one thing that stood out to me that I don't think I've heard anybody talk about, like, if you've got a friend who gambles, you know they gamble. Like, they talk about their gambling. So I find it, I mean, like, think like people are tweeting stuff out, like, all my buddies are like, will send me like, check out this parlay I'm about to hit. Like, I don't care. Gambling is illegal in Wisconsin, which is probably good for me. I would be. But yeah, that's the fishiest thing to me. I've heard a lot of really good arguments about like what in Shohei's favor. Like, I think I can't remember who said it before the show started. Was it Jeff? Maybe someone said before the show started that like it's possible that Ippei may have been the guy that like set up all these accounts for Shohei, because Shohei's not he's not a money guy. He's a baseball player, and he trusted Ippei for obviously for better or worse and for worse. But yeah, that's my 2 cents. He definitely knew that Ippei was a degenerate gambler. There's no way he didn't.
Is that really the guy's name? Ippei? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
That's like a
John Boy
yeah.
said Ippy. John Boy said Ippy, and I like Ippy better. But
Ippy.
I'm pretty.
That's like an exotic hardware.
Everybody
It
else
makes
has
a
been
nice
saying
deck.
eBay.
Yeah,
That would be a nice deck. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm confused by everything. I don't know. I watch my.
He
bank
means
account pretty
he means
close.
everything. Like across
Yeah,
everything in his
everything.
life.
I question everything. I don't understand how somebody could not notice $4.5 million missing. I think he deserves to sit next to Pete Rose in Las Vegas and sign autographs.
Wow.
It's
I don't
harsh.
know. I think this is bad for baseball, which is not
Yeah.
what they need right now. I don't know that we're ever going to find out what is actually going on because there's so much potential for baseball backlash. And he plays for the Dodgers, so moving on.
My thing is, I first want to start out that I'm upset that MLB has said and really done nothing here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They need to, and I know that Manfred's not good in front of camera, but they should have put out some sort of statement, something earlier, and should be directing not directing the story, but like they should be more involved. Now, when it comes to Shohei, like, I mean, you probably watched Pitching Ninja's video breaking down from a lawyer's kind of point of view. And I watched another video on YouTube of a lawyer breaking it down. It's like, it makes me want to believe Shohei more. And even like past teammates have come out and said like, Shohei doesn't gamble. He's not even interested in really any other sports besides his wife's basketball. That's about it. But like, yeah, the fact that he didn't know that his assistant, basically translator / assistant / whatever, wasn't a gambler. He might have known he was a gambler. He might have known he wasn't doing
Bookie?
well. No, he used Ippy used an illegal bookie in California.
Yeah.
So it is a crazy story. But I do, if you and I would encourage you go watch the video from Pitching Ninja, kind of breaking it down. Like, if Shohei was in the wrong here, he would just deny. If he thinks he's innocent and he's going to press charges and open up all of his computer documents, all of everything, there's going to be a huge investigation. He wouldn't do that and want to press charges on the guy if he was guilty at all, because then it would come back on, he could face criminal charges here. And so he wouldn't do that if one of his lawyers didn't think they had a good case. And then you look at Ippy. Ippy's either a great friend and going to take the fall for this, or a really bad friend that is stealing money. So he's either one of those two. He's not just like either a good friend or a bad friend. But there's more talk about baseball. Big news that dropped last night. Jordan Montgomery signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks in a pretty good deal for the Diamondbacks. Something like I mean, I would have loved the Cubs to get Jordan Montgomery on that deal, but I think it's the case, and I'll kind of start this, my take on it, and then we can kind of go around and see if you guys agree. With all these deals that have happened, even with Shohei not choosing the Cubs or other players, I just don't think Jordan Montgomery wanted to come back to the NL Central. I don't think he wanted to come to the Cubs. I think he wanted to be a little bit more West Coast. I think he wanted to play for a team that showed they can make a run in the playoffs. I don't think he necessarily, I don't know. When there's a deal like that he could have got more money, that's showing that the player wanted to go to that team or wanted to play for a certain amount of teams, and the Cubs weren't one of them. And as a Cubs fan, we just kind of have to accept that a little bit. Now, could the Cubs made a little bit more money offer and maybe enticed him a little bit more? Possibly, but he chose the Diamondbacks. So that's my old take. Would I loved him to be in this rotation? Absolutely, but didn't happen. What are your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's very easy to say like the Cubs should have ponied up $25 million for a year of Montgomery, especially with the state of the rotation. But like you said, Mitch, it comes down to where the player wants to be. We don't know if there were actually, same for Snell, we don't know if there were actually bigger offers for these Boris clients earlier on in the offseason. Those are just rumors. We'll probably never know for sure. I think the one thing that was interesting, I think Chris Rose said it on Baseball Today. Is that their show? He said that he thinks that some of these Boris clients that are entering free agency next year, some of the guys for the first time and some of these guys that have signed 1-year contracts, they might move on from Scott Boras. Like we might see guys move on from representation. And it's a big thing to like accuse the league of colluding, but when the guys who have been held out this long over the last 3 seasons, at least have all been Boris clients, I think that says a lot. And there are other agencies out there, like Boris has a monopoly on this, and there are clearly other agencies that do a good job and get their players paid, and do it apparently more efficiently. So I think that's going to be, I agree with Chris Rose. I think that's going to be an interesting fallout to keep an eye on this season.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the way that Scott Boras and maybe, a little tangentially Ryan Poles handled their cards to the chest here, between like how Poles like elevated Justin Fields' value into a situation where Boras, I think, maybe overhyped the value of his own clients. It was very obvious that teams were willing to wait and sit for what he was asking for his players. And I can't believe, I mean, like as Jake said, there's the collusion aspect, which is heavy and too heavy to even insinuate amongst like GMs or any sort of situation there. But Scott's been arrogant for a significant number of years. The way he handles himself, the way he deals with himself, he carries himself as an arrogant individual to begin with. And I think he kind of got his comeuppance a little bit this offseason. So I would not be surprised. Jake's right. There's tons of agencies out there. How many players are not signed with him that still make a ton of money? So, I think what would be good for baseball, Kevin, in this situation is more players moving away from Scott Boras.
Absolutely. I don't know. We can speculate all day, but those first couple of big contracts this offseason were really long ones. I mean, Shohei getting a ton of money. We had a bunch of those.
Deferred.
Yeah, deferred. But I wonder, a lot of what they do on these for contracts is compare and do comps. So what did that just inflate an already inflated value of how Boris does his business? And then teams went, like there was only really 1 or 2 teams willing to do that length of contracts. So if they're not biting, nobody else was interested. I could go a lot of different ways. I don't know. I haven't liked the whole Boris camp thing since they did their own spring training a few years ago or whatever. And I think it's why it looks like collusion. It could be collusion. It also could be that every GM and owner out there went, that guy, and without even having to talk to each other, like hard to say. Scott C has an excellent question. Who is worse for baseball, Boris or Manfred? And I don't see why that can't be both. But that's just my opinion.
Have you ever seen Boris and Manfred in the same room together?
No.
I'm sure they've been in the same room together, but
it's Palpatine.
yeah. I mean, for real. It's gonna be interesting to see. I think there's a lot of speculation we could place on the Boris situation, but why don't we talk about the Cubbies?
Yeah.
Just wait. I want to say one thing about the Boris and Manfred. Did you see the John Boy video where he basically says that Manfred's legacy is going to go down as one that's going to like save baseball? Like 20 years from now, we're going to talk about all the rules that he implemented and that fans will eventually love it, and that the Manfred will get the credit, even while it might not be deserved because other people probably made that happen. But Manfred's going to go down as being a very successful commissioner because of that. Wow.
The real ones.
He doesn't deserve any of the credit. He doesn't deserve any of the credit.
No. All right. Well, like Jake said, let's talk some Cubs. This is our prediction and pick episode. So this is always an episode that I really enjoy doing. It's always fun. It's always fun to kind of predict how the season is going to go. Sometimes we're really, really good at it. Sometimes we're not. We're going to start out with our opening day lineup. How we think the card is, what council is going to write this opening day starting lineup card is going to look like. So let's go around. Let's start with Kevin. What is your opening day lineup? What does it look like?
Am I going like batting order or who?
Batting order and position.
Oh, I didn't do batting order.
Gotta do batting order. So get working.
Way to fill out the rundown, guys.
Right? Yeah. Way to go.
This is opening day
Off the
lineup.
rails.
I just picked the positions, man.
That's not what a lineup is, Jeff.
I'll go first since I have the lineup.
I have
and
mine.
positions.
I have mine.
Oh, you have yours.
Yep.
Look who did extra credit. Nerds.
I think leading off is Ian Happ. I mean, some of these have gotten answered in the last few days, but you got Ian Happ, and then you got the best hitter in all of baseball, Seiya Suzuki. And then I don't know if I went a little off the rails. We'll see. Got Belly going 3. I like Morel as number 4, and with Swanson behind him. I don't know if that's going to work out, but that's what I'm throwing down. And then I think we're going to see Michael Busch right in there, right off the gate. Nico, obviously. And he was told early he was making the team. I think I see Tauchman in the opening day lineup, and Jan Gomes behind the dish. My thoughts.
So is Belly DH and Tauchman center field?
Oh, I struggled with this.
Sure. Yeah.
I actually had Belly at first base and Tauchman in outfield and Busch DHing.
Okay.
What the hell?
All
I
right.
know I went off the rails.
All right,
I
Jake, what's yours?
I've got Happ leading off in left field, Seiya batting second, right field, Belly batting third, center field, Morel batting cleanup at third base, in the 5-hole, Dansby at shortstop, obviously, followed by Nico at second base, Busch batting 7th at first base, Wisdom, the DH, batting 8th, and then Gomes rounding it out, catching.
Okay. All right. Mine is Ian Happ, left field. Seiya Suzuki, right field. Cody Bellinger, center field. Christopher Morel, third base. Dansby Swanson, shortstop. Nico Horner, second base. Garrett Cooper, DHing.
Ooh.
Michael Busch, first base. Jan Gomes catching, and then Justin Steele pitching.
Oh, sorry. I didn't put that in there, but
I
yeah.
like that. I like that.
I mean, that's some sticks right there.
Interesting. Swanson, Horner, back to back. Interesting.
I like Horner in like the opportunity if Belly drives in, like gets like the RBIs or Morel, or hits like a double for then either Dansby or somebody behind them that's a good contact guy. I love like the idea of either Nico Horner either needs to be 5'6" or he needs to be 1. Like he either needs to be like one of those two places, like 1, 2, or 5'6". So, all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be upset if Seiya's not batting second.
Yeah, Seiya needs to bat second.
Seiya bats second and Belly behind him. You got that right left split there, and contact in the 3-hole. I mean, yeah, I want Hap leading off all day and Seiya driving him in.
I would, if anything, I would later in the season switch Dansby and Nico around just because I wouldn't want Morrell and Swanson back to back because that might be KK. That'd be the only thing because for contact, I would want to switch those around. But like for right now, I think Council's going to go, I'm going to bat my best guys first. And so he's just going to put it who he thinks is the best hitter and just work down. So, all right, Ian, what do you got?
Mine was short and simple, and this was a sticking point for me last year, as you all know. Those who are looking at what I said just remains true. I don't personally care whatever the lineup is whatever the lineup is, as long as it's not a David Ross issued lineup, then I'm thrilled. But so Craig can do whatever he wants.
I like it. Kind of a cop out to doing
well
it.
unfortunately mine was almost identical to Jake's.
Kevin's lineup and my lineup weren't too different either.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty close.
yes, that is my lineup. But
I thought Kevin, like, because he didn't write on the doc, I thought he was literally reading my lineup.
Oh,
until he got
I made a
got
copy.
to Bush. I was like, oh, okay.
I did not actually have Wisdom in the lineup though. I had Togman as a DH, weirdly enough, just for whatever reason. I just feeling funky, feeling fun.
All right.
A little fresh.
Jeff, did you copy off somebody's homework and are you ready to turn in your assignment last minute?
Yeah, I did the work. It's in the document if you want to go ahead and read it. But I didn't do a batting lineup. I think Shota's going to get to start. Gomes behind the dish. I have Michael Bush at first base. That's who I put at first base.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. You can hate me for it. I don't care. Judge me. Go ahead. The last thing I read was that Hap was like still kind of injured, so I didn't know if he was going to start. And I hadn't read anything if he was going to start, so I put like Tachman in left, Belly in center, Seiya in right, Horner at second, Dansby at short, and Morale at third. However you want them to hit, whatever.
Okay.
Believe in Craig.
Yeah. I'm just I do. We should start that. Hashtag I believe in Craig.
There you go.
And we have 2 hashtags we have to get trending now.
What's the first one?
Wisdom to the home run derby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's
All right. This leads, because we are the Dingers podcast. Who's going to hit the first dinger? I don't know if this was on the document, but I'm adding it. Who's going to hit the first dinger of the season for the Chicago Cubs? It might not be on the document. I'm throwing you a curveball. Off speed. Who you got?
Ian.
Kevin. You got Ian Happ? Okay.
Ian Happ.
Oh yeah. Also Ian Happ, leadoff dinger.
Oh, okay. Lead off.
Whoa.
Jay.
Seiya's going to continue that
shot.
hot streak.
Seiya's been hot in the streets.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, who you got?
I was going to say Seiya as well, but
Okay. I'm taking
I
Michael
agree.
Bush. Michael Bush.
Ooh,
Oh, I like
sleeper
that.
pick.
it didn't matter who I was going to say because Jake picked Seiya like I was going to, and then I thought, well, Jake's picked Seiya, so I'll take Michael Bush. But I kept with Seiya, and then you said Michael Bush. I wish you guys would quit copying me.
I'm taking Michael Bush. He's gonna get one off Vivaldi. Like right, I feel like he's gonna have Vivaldi's number.
I'll tell you what, if you keep saying Michael Bush, I'm gonna have to buy a couple cases of it tomorrow.
Speaking of,
Well, speaking of, that's one of the questions. How many beers will Jeff drink tomorrow during opening day? And they will all be Bush beer, right?
Do lunch beers count towards this total too?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
wait, you drink lunch beers?
No.
It's opening day. It's a 24-hour period. How much
Yeah.
can you consume in that time?
How many you got, Jeff, getting down?
I only have
Right.
him getting down 2. He hasn't been sleeping well lately. He's been waking up super early in the morning, trying to get his steps in. I think he's going to have 2 and he's going to fall asleep.
He's gonna miss the whole game.
You totally underestimate my ability to be a degenerate.
I have you at 8, Jeff. I am undercutting your abilities right now.
Solid number. Solid.
Around 10. Around number 10.
All right.
I have 6.
All right. Well,
I think that you're gonna have 3 before. You're gonna have 1 the first 3 innings, 1 the next 3 innings, and then you'll have 1 the 8th, 9th.
You should do a Twitter thread where after every beer you give an update on how many beers you've had and how the game is going or how opening day is going if the game hasn't started yet. That's your challenge tomorrow. You got to do it.
I
With
honestly,
hashtag on tap or on tap sports
hashtag crack 'em.
crack 'em or crack 'em. Yeah, that's.
I honestly contemplated on getting some road beers for the drive home after work.
Hey now,
It started early.
Wow.
Be safe, everyone. We don't condone that here on the podcast.
Yeah,
In Missouri, it's okay.
Stay off of Lincoln Highway.
Yeah, Jeff lives in Missouri. Well,
Jeff City,
documented
Jefferson
Missouri.
City. I am.
All right. Let's jump to longest winning streak this season by the Chicago Cubs. What's going to be the longest winning streak? Ian, let's start with you.
I got him at 10.
10.
Yeah, I'm feeling optimistic.
Okay.
I also had 10, so I'm giving double thumbs up.
See?
Jake, what about you?
I think I said 1 million.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yeah, 1 million.
No, when the World
182?
Series the next, like
162?
Yeah, what's 160? What's 1 million divided by 162? Plus playoff sweeps.
It's a fake number.
I like it.
11. I said 11.
11.
Said
Jeff, what's
8.
you?
8.
All right. I have 7, and they're going to be from August 22nd through the 28th.
Oh, you gave
Did you look
dates?
at who are those series?
It's Detroit, the Marlins, and then the Pirates. 3-game series.
Nice.
Dude, all 3 of those teams are going to be sneaky good this year.
I know, but I was looking at, where can I line up like 3, like mediocre to like below? Well, I figured by that time in August that the Pirates will have sold off and that Detroit will.
They don't have
maybe
anybody to sell off.
The Pirates?
It's all young guys. Chapman, they might. Bednar, they might sell off. I don't know. They were throwing them out their last trade deadline. I don't know. they got a couple crappy starters. Marco Gonzalez, and then they've got Paul Skeens and Bubba Chamberlain, I think, is the other. The Pirates are going to be sneaky good. They're going to be a challenge for the Cubs. And
Scott
so are the
says
Tigers.
21.
This is
Okay.
hang on. This is totally. I'm a couple beers in. This is totally a tangent, but this is aside from the I got this. The A's and the Rockies. Who's the next worst team in baseball? There isn't really
There
it's
isn't. There's a
competitive
lot of
this year. All of these teams, the Central is going to be good, top to bottom. The Pirates could totally blow out, but otherwise, it's going to be a competition. The White Sox, the White Sox are the third worst. But otherwise, I mean, this year's MLB landscape is looking pretty good. We're gonna have some entertaining baseball.
It's even the East, like Washington. You'd think, oh, they're bad. They're young and up and coming.
They've got some good prospects. Yeah, they've got some really good prospects. So it's just I'm not sleeping on any competition this year.
Yeah, you're right. It's gonna be a
No, you
great year
shouldn't.
for Major League Baseball.
Anybody can be beaten on any given day.
That's baseball,
it's just-
baby.
Yeah, let's hope that there's division competition late into September. It'd only make baseball like get eyes on the game. So yeah. All right. Since you poo-pooed my 7-win streak versus those teams, you have to find it somewhere else. Let's jump to when will PCA get called up this season? The date. Kevin.
The date.
June 14th versus the Cards at home, or whenever the first rescheduled doubleheader is.
June 14th. Okay.
That's such a cop
I
out.
think-
I tell you what, you guys are really putting a lot of serious thought into some of this.
Yeah. I mean, it's our pick 'em. We got it.
I mean, it
Dig in.
said date that PCA gets called up.
Yeah.
All you had to do was look
Folks,
at a
Jeff
calendar and
said
see if there was a
late
game or
July.
not.
Yeah. It said late July.
No, Jeff is 2025.
Who did we pick to get called up during a Cardinals series last year? Was it Mervis?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
We were pretty.
Yeah. I don't remember when he got called up, but we all know, unfortunately, how that went.
It's like throw gas on a fire.
Yikes.
I got PCA being called up June 4th against the White Sox.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Little crosstown stuff. So
I have a little bit later in the season. I have him coming up on my birthday, July 3rd, right before the All-Star game. Called up because I think he's going to struggle a little bit out of the gate. It's cold in Iowa. He's gonna struggle a little bit, but then he's going to start turning it on in June. And then they're going to call him up beginning of July, get him a little bit with the team before the All-Star break, and then he's going to be the center fielder the second half.
he could dye his hair red, white, and blue then.
Oh,
Yep.
That'd be so sick.
I really hope it happens.
He would
then.
get he would go all out. He'd get stars on one
Stars.
side and stripes
Well,
on the other.
Technically, he only needs the white and the blue dye because he's already.
Yep.
True.
All right. Who's next? Who hasn't gone?
I haven't gone.
Oh yeah. Do you have a date for us?
Yeah, Monday, July 22nd against the Brewers.
Is that a
Okay.
home game?
Yes, I looked it up.
That's late July. That's what he said.
I said late July.
I would. Yeah, it's like mid July maybe.
What the? It's past halfway. It's late.
All right. How many days in first place will the Cubs occupy, or how many days will the Cubs occupy first place this season?
Like days of the week?
No, like how many days total will they occupy first place
62.
from the gate? Oh, just 62. Not
62, not 162.
It's like they're gonna hold on to it the whole
You're
time.
pulling a whole shot here.
62. Okay, I ain't giving that much credit.
and I give him more, 77.
70.
That's way too many.
Hey, I was trying to be positive on these predictions, Jeff. Jeepers.
You were too
All right.
positive.
Yeah, Jake, what do you got?
Hang on. I said most of them.
All right. Well, I have Jake pulled a Jeff there. I said 40.
Okay, so I chose 24 because
Okay.
I think it's gonna be like back and forth. One
Kobe.
team holds it for one day, then it's gonna be tied up. Then it's gonna be like I feel like the Cubs. I think like the beginning of the season, it's gonna be 4 different teams in first place on any given day of the week. Like it's gonna kind of jump around. A lot of that happening. So I said 24. Then the Cubs will kind of take control of it. But I mean, I could see where you go a stretch where the Cubs go a good 4 weeks and they're not in first place. So 24. I'll have to keep track of all these to see. All right. Let's go with most dingers on the season. And how many does that player hit?
God.
Okay. Kevin, what do you got?
Yep. I got Morel at 32.
Like it. 32 dingers. What do you have last year?
20.
5.
Yeah. It depends on if you counted his minor league dingers or not.
Oh, that's true. All right. Ian, what do you got?
I have Hap for most stingers on the season. Hap, ooh, the number. I'm gonna say I'm in on the Ian. It's the year of Ian, so I'm gonna say 34. Low end 34, maybe 35. I'll say 35.
35.
Yeah.
Okay. I have it as Morel with 36.
I'm pretty close with Joey. Joey said Morel with 40, Say with 38. I'm gonna say Say with 37.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting.
All right, let's move to most saves on the team.
All right, awesome. I didn't have to answer a question.
And how many?
And how many?
Yeah, how many saves?
I didn't put a number there.
Okay. Well, what do you got for a most or who will get the most saves?
I have Alzolay.
Okay. Ian.
How many saves?
I have no.
Just throw a number out.
I don't know. I don't even know how many is a normal good number for a.
It's arbitrary,
Kevin picks
man.
21 saves.
Alzolay had
21 is
22
solid.
last year.
Oh, yeah, 20. Okay. I'm gonna say 28.
Okay. Jake, what do you got?
I am gonna say that Julian Merriweather is the saves leader with 19. I'm gonna say Alzolay gets used in more high leverage situations with Council running the bullpen this year.
Ooh, I like that. I have Hector Neris at, where's my document? At 24.
Wow. I have Adbert, and I'll say 27.
I see. Going with a little Price is Right guessing. 1 under. Nice.
A little ASMR from Kevin right there.
All right. I'll wait with the biggest disappointment on the season. Who is going to be our breakout player of the year?
All right, another question. I didn't
Jake.
answer.
Yeah, we keep
I
skipping.
have to double check, but I'm pretty sure. Wait.
Jake and I
Amaya.
have the same here.
Yeah, Ian and I have the same. Amaya. I don't want to speak for you, Ian, but I think that Gomes is ready to hand it off to Amaya, and I think by the end of the season, Amaya is going to get majority of the starts behind the plate. I think he's ready to manage a pitching staff, and I think his offense is really going to come around this year. I don't think he's not going to be like a Wilson Contreras power bat, but I think we could see Amaya bat like 270 and, like maybe upwards of like ceiling 20 home run pop in his prime. But I think the dude's an awesome defender. I think he can handle the pitching staff, and I don't think he's going to be, I think he'll be right around league average offensively as a catcher. Long term, I'm saying.
And Ian, you had Amaya as well.
I had Amaya as well. Yeah. And weirdly enough, I was trying to think about what he might hit. And I thought I almost landed where Jake did at 270, but I was like, yeah, maybe 260 into the
this
270
season,
range.
I think that's more realistic.
Yeah.
Jeff, who do you got? Breakout player.
I put Michael Bush.
That's who I had as well.
Me too. Michael Bush.
I
really
Bush.
wish you guys would stop copying off my paper.
You didn't submit one.
Yeah.
I have Bush hitting 30 home runs.
Oh, that'd be so sick.
Holy
And
wow.
in the minors, he's hit a lot of dingers. He has a stick. Like he's gonna show out. And I think even in spring training, he's hit some pretty good long balls. You're just starting to see what he's capable of. I think that it's going to turn out to be a great trade for the Cubs in that, 30 long balls. And he might not be our everyday first baseman the whole year, but he will be in the lineup with a DH spot. He will earn himself some time. We're not going to have a Matt Mervis situation like we did last year with a young guy. I think Bush is going to show out. So third, I mean, for the minors, I think he was hitting 26, 29 quite a bit last year. And that's with some time off, like for injury and for getting called up for a couple of weeks. And he hit, I think, 2 or 3 when he got up with the Dodgers. So I mean, I wouldn't put out that 30 is out of reach for him. So, all right, team MVP for this season. Who's going to be the team MVP? Kevin.
I'm trying to find it in the doc. Where did we put that in?
Just throw a name out, would you please?
No, because I thought about this. Oh, Swanson. I think his leadership. I think another Gold Glove season. Spoiler for later. I think he's gonna settle in well in his batting order spot. I think it's Swanson.
Okay. Ian.
I have Seiya.
I have Seiya Suzuki as well.
Yeah, speaks for itself.
Kind of like what we talked about last week. I think Seiya is going to be in the MVP consideration when this all said and done. He is hot. I think he's ready. He's primed and ready to break out and be all-star right fielder and be solidified as one of the best right fielder in the game.
Yeah, I'd love it to be Seiya, but I also have a soft spot for Bellinger re-signing. And I think that he's going to prove that him being re-upped on the Cubs was the right decision to make. And I think he's going to repeat his second breakout, if you want to call it that he had last season. And I think too, like while Seiya, we know that Seiya can play a good right field. I think Bellinger occupying defensively 2 positions that we really needed occupied in center and first is going to be a big and playing plus defense there is going to be a big boon for this Cubs team. So I took Bellinger.
Yeah.
All right, that leads us to our biggest disappointment of the season, which Scott already threw out.
Whew.
Ian Happ.
Hot take.
So he didn't throw him out. He threw him under the bus.
And that he'll be replaced by PCA or Canario. It's tough. But who do you guys think are going to be the biggest disappointment? Ian, who do you got?
I got Morel. Only because of expectations that I think are being placed on him. He's not a disappointing player in general. I just think, the idea here is everyday third baseman, perhaps, or like that's the idea, or like maybe that doesn't just translate well, or maybe he has a cooler season than the rest of us are thinking. So, but I have Morel.
Yeah, I echo that exactly, and that's exactly why I put Morel as the biggest disappointment, because I think it's similar to Mervis going into last season. The expectations were sky high. Obviously, this year the fans want Morel to take over third base and just man it all season. But I think that he's going to be a Javi light. I think that he's going to provide us a lot of moments of electricity, but I just don't think he's going to be consistent enough. I mean, Morel might be flashier on defense than Wisdom, but you might see like Morel being kind of a Patrick Wisdom, where he plays similarly to Wiz, but he's just a little bit more outgoing on the field. His personality is just a little bit bigger, and that's why it's kind of like the Javi light. So he's kind of in the middle of Wisdom and Baez, and that's kind of what I'm expecting from Morel. And I could see at the end of the season Morel is more of a guy off the bench utility player than an everyday guy.
Yeah. My biggest disappointment, I don't want this to be, is I think Justin Steele. I think that he's had 2 really good years, and now the expectations are super high that he is our number one and our horse that's going to carry us. But I think the amount of innings are going to catch up to him a little bit. And I think we're going to see a stretch in the middle of the season where he's going to be on the shelf. and that's when Cade Horton is going to get his chance. It'll turn out all right because I think Justin will bounce back and finish the season really strong, but it's going to open up the spot in the rotation for Horton to come in. I just think maybe a disappointment. I'm looking at that we have such high expectations, like that maybe aren't right. Not that Justin Steele is going to have a bad season. That's my point. That he's still going to have a good season, but I think there's going to be time where he might be on the shelf. So
Interesting. I'm going to pop in real quick. Mine was Leiter Jr. I think maybe he loses that one pitch he needs to be successful, and that was mine. Everybody else is going to be fantastic. So
just one player will be a disappointment.
So
Yeah.
were we supposed to pick like an everyday player or what? Because I picked Nick Madrigal.
Oh.
Jake hates you right now.
I just think that's like so you, Jeff, to pick Madrigal. Like, because I mean, if you're putting it in perspective, like Madrigal can't really be. I think Madrigal can only be a plus this season. Anything that he brings to the table can only be a plus because fans' expectations for him are so damn low. Yeah, like they are at the floor.
Well, then he should be able to reach them.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He's already there.
No, I mean height-wise, he should be able to reach.
That was a short joke.
Well, I didn't pick the other low-hanging fruit on the team. I didn't pick Drew Smiley.
That's a good pick, though. I think that's like that's a good.
That's
pick.
A better pick. Yeah.
Did you think about Drew Smiley? Do you have thoughts on Smiley?
I don't know if he's got anything left in the tank. I don't know. He had a really great first half of one season, then he fell, and he kept falling.
Then that's disappointing.
It is.
That counts.
Yeah, that I agree with more than Madrigal. Madrigal seems like too easy.
Just let us do your homework, Jeff, just like in high school.
Well, you skipped me on about 4 questions.
Well,
I don't even know why I filled the paper out.
I just figured you probably didn't have any answers down. I do have to bring up Scott because he's in our fantasy baseball league and he's talking trash, saying my pitching my pitching is solid. It's gonna carry me to another second or first place. I'm just saying I like my team. You back off.
I'm so mad, Mitch. I'm so mad that Mike Bollinger responded to your team, your fantasy team lineup, because my fantasy team blows yours way out of the water. And I posted mine and no one responded because no one gives a shit about our fantasy teams, but my fantasy team is stellar.
Did you guys ask Kevin to be on your fantasy teams? Because he loves fantasy. Huge fan of fantasy.
You last season, didn't I? I asked you
Dungeons and Dragons, anything with like warlocks and gargoyles, all that crap. Kevin's into it.
Well, Mitch, your pitchers may suck, but Scott's comment was full of grammatical issues. So
no, my pitching is solid. I like my pitching. All right. Speaking of pitching, who's going to be the reliever of the year?
For the Cubs.
For the Cubs.
Oh,
Jake, who you got? Reliever of the year.
So I picked Merriweather to be the saves leader, but I want to think about like who's going to be the most impactful, like who is going to be the most like coming out of nowhere. And I think it's going to be Luke Little.
That's who I
think Luke Little. I just think Luke Little is ready to go, man. And like we need a lefty, and for him to be the power lefty, the huge presence that he is, I think he's just going to have like a massive breakout season.
I just picture him like. Whenever I see him, I think Paul Bunyan. I don't know why. And his big blue ox, he's just gonna be a beast. I feel like for the Cubs, a lefty coming in. I'm excited to see him break out big this year. So excited for some Luke Little.
Yeah, I got Adbert. I picked him as our saves leader too, but I just said Adbert.
Yeah,
I also selected Adbear because I picked him as the saves leader. You guys would know that if I got a chance to answer that question, but I did not.
Just speak up, Jeff. Just speak up.
It's the first time ever you've been quiet in your life.
Okay, Kevin, who'd you pick?
I also had Adbert. I think that fist pump. It's iconic for a reason. We're gonna see it all season long.
Yeah.
All right. Team Cy Young.
Oh, I still said Justin. I think Mitch. I think you maybe sold me on him being more of a disappointment than he was last year, but I think some regression to the mean is inevitable in that case, regardless. But I still think he ends up being perhaps our most valuable pitching asset. So I'm going with Justin.
I'm also Justin. Just gonna pop in real quick.
Yeah.
Shota. I think it's Shota. I think he was starting to figure out how to spot his fastball, and I think in his last spring outing the other day, there was just a lot of soft contact. There were a couple balls that fell in center field that were caused. They fell in because of the high sky in Arizona. I mean, if you watch that back, like Bellinger lost one in the sun on the warning track, and then who took over? Alcantara, I think, took over in center field, and he lost one in the sun on the warning track as well, like in the same spot. And then there's just not a lot of loud noise. I think we will see that he's going to give up some home runs this year, but I think his stuff, man, he had a literal back foot slider on Arenado that was just filthy. It literally hit Arenado in the back foot after he swung on it. I think Shota is going to prove that he could be a legit, like, bona fide number 2 rotation arm. And I think because Steele and I think most rotations is a number 2, they're going to be like a 1A, 1B all season.
Yeah. So player I picked, his last name in Japanese means going the distance. And Imanaga is my pick. Don't look up what Shota in Japanese means because it's not very appropriate.
I'm looking it up
Now
now.
we're looking it up.
But yeah, I think Shota is gonna show out this year. I think he's gonna be a beast. I think he's
Put it in the private chat, Ian.
he's filthy. And yeah, Ian's face. See, when you're looking up meaning of names and you get that, you're like, oh okay. But yeah, I think Shota's gonna dominate and gonna do really well and be like that 1B for the Cubs. So that's my pick. Jeff, who's your pick?
Drew Smiley.
He went from biggest disappointment to Team Cy Young.
No, I also picked Justin Steele, but I guess I really didn't put a lot of thought into like the
Anything.
Never. I don't think about anything. I just mousetrap. Yeah, I'm sticking my hand in it. Anyway, the innings and how he has battled like some forearm strain, things like that. I think Mitch is probably onto something there where he's going to be on the shelf for a little bit, but I don't know. Shota hasn't played. How long's their season over there? Like, how many innings is he going to get? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Tough question.
And they go 6-man rotate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with Justin Steele.
Okay.
Drew Smiley is my number 2.
All right. Is it everybody answer that one? We'll get to the last one. Overall record for.
Oh my God.
All right. Let's start with Kevin. Overall record.
I think it's 89 and 83.
Okay. 89.
We win the Central. We're on a hot streak at the end of the season. We go for a run.
Okay. Jake.
Ooh, I didn't really think about this, honestly.
He asked Jake, not Jeff.
Do math. 91.
Jeff,
91 wins.
What?
81 losses.
Is that math?
So 91 and
No.
71.
Yeah,
Or
71.
71.
All right.
Actually, 20 games over 500, that's a lot.
No, it's fine.
Fuck
Final
it,
answer.
All right.
Yeah,
Jeff.
I picked him to go 88, 74. I think that works out.
Yeah, I said 90 and 72. So actually, I'm sticking with 90.
Is this Price is Right rules?
No, it's not Price is Right rules.
All right. You have to try to guess how many wins I'm choosing by these clues.
Okay.
Blues Clues.
All right. In this year, Whitney Houston topped the charts with I Will Always Love You.
92.
Jeez, Jeff, your trivia knowledge is.
Wait, is that for real? Is he right?
Yeah, 92.
When it
Yeah,
comes to
I had to think about that for a second, but it is right.
Yeah.
Because didn't The Bodyguard come out in 90?
Yes, The Bodyguard was 1993. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Kevin Costner's in that. He's a beautiful man.
My other clues were going to be The Real World made its premiere on MTV during this year.
Wow.
92.
The 25th Olympics in Barcelona happened in this year.
92 because my taekwondo coach was a competitor in those.
Damn.
Oh, really?
nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My other was that Aladdin and Sister Act were the #1 movies in the summer during that year. So 92. I'm picking 92 and 70. Which then I look at that, it's like, oh, that's a lot of games over 500. I don't know if they can do that, but hey, we're rolling with it. 92 and 70.
I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm just ready for the season to start. I kind of think I said this in a previous episode. Like, it's been hard for me to like fully get into the baseball season. I don't know why. I think it's because like we're building a house. We're finishing building a house. Very long, like kids sports seasons during the winter and starting again. So like my mind has been in other places. And so I'm glad that the season starts, that now I can like really lock in and focus and just enjoy the season. Like I'm trying to like this season more than any, like I just want to like enjoy the season because one, I think it's going to be one of the first seasons that like my kids start watching and understanding the game a little bit more and can like maybe pick apart some things, and it'll be great to like be able to do that. So like, but I just want to enjoy the season. Like I think last year I enjoyed a good portion of the season, but then I just grew bitter and like angry at certain things happening. And it's like, no, I just wanted to sit back and enjoy the season. And for us as Cubs fans, like we got a lot to look forward to and good things are coming. And so try to enjoy the season, enjoy opening day tomorrow, drink a beer for Jeff, and let's get a dub. Let's get a dub tomorrow and get the season off right. Like I know like we like live or die, I feel like on this opening day. Like
let's have a beer every half inning.
Jeff, you're to drink a beer for me every half inning.
But like I do want to say that like don't like have expectations, but don't let them ride on tomorrow's outcome.
Yeah.
I feel like we as Cubs fans do that so much. Like the first week when maybe things aren't going our way, we as Cubs fans like huge overreaction. Good or bad. It's like, okay, it's 162. Probably some of the team will not look the same at the end of the season as it does at the beginning. So let's not like overreact tomorrow. If Dansby strikes out 3 times and Nico makes an error or like whatever happens, like let's just chill out a little bit, enjoy, just drink another beer and calm down a little bit. Take a big breath.
Yeah, don't turn into the groundskeepers on Major League. All right, let's be positive.
So, any parting words for you guys from you guys? Nope.
Go Cubs.
Go Cubs.
That's it.
I think it's going to be a really interesting season. I mean, we got a manager that plays chess and not Connect Four. So I think it's going to be really hard to try to predict what he's going to do late in the later innings of the game when it's time to make a pitching change and all that stuff. So it'll be exciting.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
It's a different thing than we've ever seen. So
it is. It's going to be fun to watch how he manages. And because we kind of got used to Ross and can kind of predict the things that he was going to do, even though we kind of disagreed with him. Like it's going to be different because you're going to have to learn how Council does things. And that's going to be part of the fans to like make it fun. Like it's going to be I'm going to enjoy that side of it, to try to think, what is Council thinking? What moves is he going to make? What matchups is he going to try to play? Yeah, it's going to be a fun part of the season. So it'll be fun for us as a podcast to be able to discuss it all season long. So yeah, make sure that you're checking us out every Monday night. I know we're doing Wednesday, but that's because opening day is tomorrow. But every Monday night at like 8:50, 8:30, we'll be on the On Tap Sports Network YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed there. Check out our buddies at Cubbies on Tap or Cubs on Tap. Make sure you're subscribed to their podcast and listen to them. But yeah, if you want to be in our community and talk, most of the time we do that on Twitter or X. Now that's where we have most interaction. But we also have a TikTok, so we've been posting just clips of our episodes on there as well. So follow us there. But yeah, thanks for listening. This is episode 147 of the Dingers podcast. Go Cubs! And opening day is tomorrow. Let's go.
Play ball.
Oh, no.